Good evening, Stampin' friends, and welcome to Linda's Stamping Escape. How is everybody this evening? I hope you are doing well and staying cool. Been a bit miserable out. Oh, I'm not much for hot, soggy weather. It just doesn't work well for me. So, hello. Don't forget to drop a hello yourself in the comment section so I can see who's all here and joining me this evening. I'd like to know who I'm stamping with. So we have Karen and Deborah. I didn't miss anybody. Far, just checking this all out here. Okay. So tonight I'm excited. We are going to do some fun watercolor techniques and we're using the blocks. So the first card you guys already saw, but I will kind of walk you through how I did that. And of course, you can see I'm using the fabulous Prairie Grass stamp set. Had to have this one. I just did. So I love this set. It's so just, yeah, I love it. So let me know if this is something that was on your wish list. Hello, Candy. Um, because this was one of the first things I wrote down. I don't know if it's the silhouette part of it or what. The words are so beautiful, and I just had to have it. So I do, and I am going to share that with you. So just a little announcement here tonight after my live. I am doing 3 drawings. Yep, 3. The first one will be for last week's live. Oops. Yeah, I totally was into some projects and kind of forgot. So my apologies, but we will do it this week. And then we're going to draw for those who answered the questions in the loyal customer post. So, my Snoopy post. Hey, Kay. And last but not least, tonight's attendee drawing. So 3 drawings tonight. Ooh, we have Kay and Cheryl. Hello, Cheryl. Hope your back is feeling better. Right? Just jotting down names as I go. It's easier. Facebook doesn't always want to play nice. So I'm just writing down names as I go. All right. So again, we are going to be doing watercolor techniques with blocks and 2 different ways, because the first one I'm going to show you tonight is this card. And this I did with markers. And my second card I'm doing with ink pads. So both using blocks and both really easy to do. So I want to show you how easy. So let's start with this one. Oh, and by the way, nobody guessed what 3 colors were my blues. We did a Monday blues yesterday, and nobody guessed the colors. Here they are. So they are Lost Lagoon, Balmy Blue, and of course the Misty Moonlight. So I'm going to show you now how I did that. I'm just going to tuck our prairie grass back here for now. Thank you, Kay. Kay says she loves it. So I'm starting out with the textured note dies, and I picked the one that I don't know about the rest of you, but I think this looks like bamboo. That's maybe just in my head, but I like this edge, and I seem to use it quite a bit. Okay, and then the mat that I have, we'll be using measures 4 3/8 by 2 7/8. So if you ever use this rectangle, that's a nice mat size to use. So again, that was 4 3/8. This is for the mat, and 2 7/8. So works really nice. You don't have too much of the mat sticking out, but just enough to give you some um, nice little color there. All right, let's get busy. So I got a little tip here. So I pre-cut that. Normally, when I first learned this technique, we didn't do that. We just did it and then cut our cardstock accordingly. But I wanted to use this. So I'm going to place my block right here. And because we have these nice, lovely clear blocks now, it shows you your edges. You can see right through. So I am going to start with the pecan pie. That is going to be my base. I don't want to get this wet though, but kind of put this here maybe so you can kind of see what I'm doing. And I will move that when I spritz. So we're going to put this on here and my edge ends here. So I'm going to stay a little bit above the edge. And I'm just going to do like a solid line. And then I'm just going to add some little lines in there. Okay. My next color is going to be the Lost Lagoon. And of course, we want the brush tip. So you can tell just by looking at your marker which end is the brush tip. Hey, Dawn. So I'm just going to bring in a little bit of that color in those strips there. Okay. I'm going to bring this up in here. And I don't mind leaving open spots because on some, I know we used to color the whole thing, but I like to blend my colors. And this is a great way of doing it. Next, I'm going to go with the Misty Moonlight, and I'm going to fill in just a little bit. This will give you that two-tone look. And I'm going to do just what I did on this one and make those blend together. And then we are going to add a few more little strips down there. That water is going to pull this all together. Now here is where you can add just a little bit more of that water. And I'm going to add a little bit of that color in there. I like my colors to blend. And we'll do some little squigglies on there. Now you don't have to worry about this drying because once the water hits it, it's going to reactivate it. So I'm just going to grab my paper towel. And luckily, I don't have to run all the way in the basement. Okay, so I just want that handy. And then we have our spritzer here. You actually get 2 spritzers when you buy these. So pretty cool. All right, I'm just going to leave that right there on top of my paper. And I'm going to spritz so you guys can see how pretty that goes. You want this to bead up. And if you want, you can even shake it a little bit, make those colors mix, and then we're going to flip it and push. No two ever look the same. It doesn't matter how hard you try to put the lines in the same position, it just doesn't work. And this is why I have my paper towel. I just pick up any excess there that I have. So pretty cool, right? Now, what if you want a little bit more of that brown on there? Well, guess what? We can take the brown and we can add just a little brown to our block. Spritz just that. Bring that back in here. And voila. Bring that back off. Hi, Sharon. See, now you got a little bit more brown. Before it was kind of running off. If it goes over here, it's okay. It's watercolor. Nobody's going to say anything, right? You do want to let this dry. You can dry it with your heat gun, which I am not even sure where my heat gun is. I haven't used it in so long. Isn't that sad? Oh, but I do have one that's already dry. So let's go in there and take that. So I'll be making another card with this one. And we are going to grab, let's see. We're going to go, maybe, we'll go back. We'll kind of stick with the same kind of theme here with our prairie grass, cattails, whatever those may be. And then we're going to ink this up nice and juicy. And then place it where you'd like it. And then just nice, firm hold. And let that black ink sink into your cardstock. I guess Karen's the same here with the heat gun. Yep, you and me both. I have not used my embossing powders, and maybe in my head it's just too hot, because a lot of times I will come out of my basement because it's so warm. I have no air conditioning down there. Even the fan just does not answer the question. So let's bring in our piece here and just back that up. And now, based on the colors that are showing through more on this one, I may not go with the Lost Lagoon background, but maybe more of the misty moonlight. So totally different card vibe. And then I used the waves, and I flipped it upside down and used the other side. I just wanted like motion of air, or something behind there. I didn't like the polka dots or the brick or any of that. This just fit the card. And then it says, "You're not alone. I'm here for you." So love this. So, and the watercolor with the prairie grass is just such a pretty combination. Again, I would go with different blues than on this one, but look at how the Lost Lagoon really shows through on this one. That's why I picked that color. So you're going to kind of pick your card base color based off of how your watercoloring turned out. So on that note, we are going to move into our second card. Okay. Now, I already got this one set up because I am using my Stamparatus. Tell me, ladies, how many of you have the Stamparatus? If you do not, there are other stamp positioners out there that you can use. And we are going to use this one. But I'm not going to pull this. I'm going to pull that out yet because I got to get my colors done first. Okay. All right. This block. And with this one, we're going to have a little bit of fun. Remember how I said we, didn't cut out our stuff prior? Well, I didn't on this one, but I will be cutting it out. And I was just checking that size that I will be using for this next card. So I am going with Crushed Curry, Daffodil Delight, and Calypso Coral. Kay says she's got hers. Candy's got one. All right, ladies. I don't know what I would do without mine. I really love it. I really, really just love that. All right. Let's do our coloring first. So I need a white piece of paper. And I went a little bit bigger than my block. So of course, this is just a quarter sheet. 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And I'm going to put this back on the white so you guys can see how I do this better. Okay. And I am going to start with my Daffodil Delight. When I decided to make this card, I wanted the feeling of summer. I just really want to create one of those summer days. Okay, so now I just squished all this on one. And now what I'm going to do is use this little edge right here and tap some extra in there. So it's kind of hard to see those lines. But I am creating some layers there. All right, so let's put this one up to the side. We're going to bring in that crushed curry. And again, I'm just using the line. And this time I'm going to come off from the side, go down the middle. So you know how we did our color mixtures with the markers? We're kind of doing the same thing here with the ink pad. I'm going to leave this open because I'm going to be using that in a minute. And I got my Calypso Coral, and why I dragged the old one up, I don't know, but I'm just going to add a little bit, just a little bit of that Calypso. Give you that late summer afternoon feeling, right? That's what I'm heading for. And I'm just going to come back in and add a little bit more of the curry up there. I want to make sure I have enough. Okay. And I close that one. Again, we are going to come in with our spritzer. Get it nice and juicy. Ooh, look at that. We're mixing already. Flip it and push. Oh, that is pretty. And I have a lot of water on there, and it is just kind of oozing everywhere. So let's wipe that up. Now, a little bit more here. So I'm just going to add that back on there. I'm going to pull that color across. Ooh. There is no right or wrong way to do this. Just do what you feel comfortable with and what looks good to you. Watercoloring isn't supposed to be an exact science. It's supposed to be soft and flowing and pretty. So you can just create anything you want. Now, when this dries, we're going to cut it with that. See how nice that fit right there. And it's okay if you have a little extra, and I'll show you that why later when we get to the end of the card. Okay, so here's one already dried. So we'll be using that. And then I'm going to bring in, get rid of the blocks. We don't need that. I'm going to bring back our crushed curry. And you guys remember how I edged my sunflower card? Was that last week or? Oh my goodness. Well, when I did that, I'm doing it the same way, but I'm not going crushed curry with crushed curry. I'm going crushed curry with lemon lolly. So I have this very light yellow here, our lemon lolly. And I'm starting at the bottom, even though it looks like the top. It's just so I have a little bit more control. And I can get a little bit deeper down here. And as I go up, and I'm not going to do a lot in the center, just going to be a little bit now on the sides. I am not going to re-ink. I just want a very light coloring around the edge. the bottom is where most of your color is going to be. And I did that because I want this to look like late afternoon. That makes sense? Actually, I'm just going to add a little bit more in my corners here along the bottom. I think the brushing works very nice with the watercolor technique because it is another soft effect. Carol's back. Had to get her ice pack. She's got some back problems. So, and we know how that feels, don't we? All right. Now, how does that look? Is this giving you the feeling of a summer afternoon? Nice, hot day, sunny, hot day. That's what I'm going for. So I have to move all my goodies over here now because we are bringing in that Stamparatus. I already positioned this. And I'm going to bring back one ink pad here. That's going to hold up my platform here, a little arm, whatever you want to call it. And it'll give me a nice sturdy area to put my, when I put my ink on. So I don't know if you can see this. Can I get a darker color here? But I like to mark where my cards go, because I don't always tuck them up in the corner. It's nice to tuck them in the corner because then they really don't move on you. But sometimes I like to just put them right smack dab in the middle where I can see them better. Okay. Now, when I did this, my stamp was clean and I actually laid it right on top of there. And kind of like what I'm doing with this right now. So I'm going to take my sun and place it where I want it. And then I'm going to bring this over here and keep my fingers in here because I want to make sure that I'm not going to hit that. Oh, this one's big and it's really sticky on here. Okay, got to keep your magnets away from your stamp. And I think we're good. Just going to give this a little twist. Make sure it's right out of the way. Okay, so now we can ink this up. Hey, Vicki. Ink this up. What I love about the stamp positioners is that you can ink this more than once. And I'm getting table bounces. I'm sorry. I'm going to do that. Okay, I'm going to grab that paper towel I was using. And I'm just going to do this. And you know why I do that? Because it just slides easier than trying to do your finger thing here. It just slides. Very nice color, but I missed some right here. So we're going to go back. And that would be right over here. I'm just going to place it right where we missed it. Make sure we got a nice and dark. All right, there we go. Hold the back. Sure, we get that right where we had that little spot missing. See how we did? Ooh, pretty. And don't forget there's a few little holes, so if it doesn't look perfect, it's okay. Wait till you see this all together on the card. I'm going to back off my magnets. And now I'm going to put my base here. This is my front. Slide that over there. This over here. Oh, sorry, my fingers are in the way. These little buggers are really, they really stick good. And I don't have my little silicone mat underneath for something else, and I didn't get it back on. Okay, I'm going to slide this guy over because he at least has a triple washi tape on it. I think we're good there. And it's lined up nice. So let's ink this up and see. Vicky. Vicky's doing the ooh already. We're not even done. Wait till you see the finished one. It's so simple. So just know that you can pre-cut your shapes. You can watercolor it and then cut it out. Either way. Plus, remember we did markers first, and then this one was done with ink pads. So any color medium you can use. I got even more watercoloring techniques and stuff I want to share with you guys because this is just perfect for that technique. And with the brushes, you could do the same layered coloring effect with your brushes. There we go. This just moves so much smoother. Ooh, perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, let's slide this off. We're going to take our piece here. Now we can drop that down. It's okay. Get that out of our way. Now we're going to pull in our sun back. Okay. Now, you could, if you wanted to, pop this up. I do not. I do not want that dramatic of an effect. Again, remember I said I want this to look like a hot, hazy summer afternoon. And what we're going to do is just add a little glue to the back of this. And I'm just going to bend that up a little bit because it curls that. I'm going to get kind of close to the edge, but not all the way because I don't want it to ooze out. That makes sense. Okay. Step back. We got our little sunflower here. I don't know. I think I might have to get my club members one of those. I don't remember. If not, I'm going to have to. Okay, now I got to concentrate here and line myself up. Ooh, there we go. Perfection. I'm going to flip my card over and use my block to push that down and get that glue stuck nicely. Okay, now we need a greeting. So a simple greeting. And we will bring our stamp set back in. And I think the sending the healing power of love, because I haven't used that one yet. It's on here. I always have trouble lining up those squiggly fonts. So I have to practice. That's why we like lined paper, right? Want to make sure I'm holding it right. See, I always try to line it up with the not the handwritten font, but the other one. Because if I can get the straight, then the rest of it will be. And that works. So, sure, my the is straight. Hold that down. Let that ink. Ooh, yes. In such a subtle greeting, soft, and just goes so well with each of my. Of course, you know I'm going with basic black, right? So that's lemon lolly and basic black. And of course, you'd put white on the inside, unless you want to use lemon lolly on the inside. And then we are going to finish it off by just tacking that down. Super simple watercolor techniques done two ways. with your markers or with the ink pads. And then you can either pre-cut and use your blocks to determine where you want to put your watercoloring, like we did on the first card, or you can cut them afterwards, like we did here. So here is our pretty. Now, do you think this looks like summer? Did did I actually accomplish my mission? So it does look like summer, because that's where I was going for. Like walking in the fields in that August at Grandpa's farm. That's just what I was, where my brain was going when I made this card, like heading towards the evening. So, what do you say if you make a boo boo and you mess up your greeting? Well, that's what I did on my first card. So I just took the very same greeting and stamped it, and I die cut that out and then added a little baker's twine. So look at this one. I told you they never look the same. This one, I think I must have did a lot deeper with the crushed curry in there. Karen, Karen says, yes, it's making me overheat just thinking about it. So there we go. There is our summer card. And let's bring back, this will cool you off a little bit, Karen. Candy said that would be a great sympathy card. Yes, I agree with you. That would, they do. They do. I do like the verses in here, but not one of them says sympathy. So I need some more sympathy cards myself, or sympathy stamps. So this one says you're not alone. This one says so very sorry. And this one says sending the healing power of love. So I think they need a little bit of that in Texas. Don't you agree? So there's our pretty cars. There's that hot summer sun. And this one, we're going to take you to cool off a little bit. So here are our cards for this evening. I want to thank you all for joining me. I hope you try this. Give me a hands up if you're going to try doing the watercoloring techniques with your blocks. And I don't care if you try the markers. They are a little easier to control than them ink pads, but try both. Have fun. So you have a wonderful evening, and I will be back a little later with those 3 draws, and we'll see who's winning some fun little sparkly things, right? So have a good evening, and thank you again for joining me. I appreciate it so much. And if you like it, share it with your friends. I would like that as well. Have a good night.